Hello and welcome to the From the Finney Podcast with me, Jake, Ollie.
Hi, Jake.
And Dan.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Hello chaps. This week we're going to be talking about whether 4 centre-backs are enough at the club, the new home kit and another Twitter meltdown, and whether or not we'll be heading back to Fotter Island for a third pre-season in a row. Yeah, let's get started then with the centre backs at the club. I am of the opinion that we should get someone in similar to how we did with Josh Ginnelly. I think the 4 that we've got are okay in terms of the squad depth at the moment, but the last 2 seasons we've had unbelievable injuries.
Yeah,
and with Hunts and Tom Clark getting on a bit, there's nothing to say that they're not going to be maybe a little bit more prone to picking up an injury. So I don't think it'd do any harm to maybe, whether that's promoting someone from the academy or like Jack Armour, who's just signed.
Yeah. So do you want 5 centre-backs in total?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a bad thing. Obviously, Storey and Davies are, well, the back end of last season, they are the main 2. If Clark's ever fit, then he'll be in there. Yeah,
I think I wouldn't mind 5, but I think with the 4, as long as we move Huntington out and bring in an adequate kind of more solid player at the level and keep Tom Clark, I don't think we need 5, because Storey and Davies are going to start every week, no matter who else comes in. And Tom Clark can offer right back and centre back, so I'd definitely stay with Tom Clark. We've been linked with Tapazoli, haven't we? He's 6'6". But I think 5's too many. Yeah, he's left Peterborough. He's on a free, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, without wanting to curse anything, and fingers crossed, Storey and Davies have actually managed to keep relatively fit while they've been in the side, haven't they? So
yeah,
I don't think we're necessarily going to struggle with their fitness. But
well, talking of the fitness, was there not a point where Storey was playing with an injury toward the end of the season?
Yeah, Storey was playing, I think, the last 10 games through a knock, and you could tell, to be honest, with his performances.
Yeah, he did.
He did dip, yeah.
That was probably against Sheffield Wednesday, I'd say, probably on the last home game. He was noticeably a yard or 2 off the pace.
Yeah.
We got Sheffield Wednesday game. The Reading away game stands out for me. It was absolutely shocking that day. And then Wigan away, he was poor as well. But I'd say that was as much down to mental fatigue as well. But I just think, Jake, if you have 5 centre-backs, one's going to be in the stand every week, and it's probably going to be the same player.
Yeah, but I think that's why I was saying if we bring someone in sort of, like we did with Ginnelly from Walsall, and it was clear from the get-go with him that he was never going to feature this season. And obviously he got game time toward the end of the season.
Well, then the obvious option for a centre-back who'd probably be happy enough to be in the stands would be Jack Armour. But my concern with him, I mentioned it in our group chat before, was he just doesn't look like a centre-back to me.
He'll be on loan, actually.
He just looks very skinny.
Yeah,
he's a big lad though, isn't he? As in tall.
He's tall. He's just a lanky guy, and he.
Was he 6'5"?
I think he's 6'4", 6'5". Yeah.
6'5", yeah.
I just can't see him featuring at all, Jake. I know what you mean about Ginnelly, but when you're bringing in a winger, it's a lot easier to integrate him into the squad.
True.
Yeah.
Bring him on for the last 10 minutes. You can't do that with a centre back. So for me, I'd go Davies, Storey, Clark,
plus and then
bring another in and let Huntington go. But I think bringing one in depends on one of the 2 experienced ones leaving. When it went tits up at Norwich for Alex Neil, one of the things he said was that he kept the experienced players in the squad for too long.
True.
And he is one of those who's very savvy and cautious of not making the same mistake twice, isn't
he? Yeah, he did that. He did that from September to when did Storey come in? January.
Yeah, but he had a
that
run, didn't he, in the cup, and he played well, and people were like, "Oh, I bet him and Davis would be really good." Blah blah blah, and then he got put in and never really looked back.
Yeah, but I just don't know how many teams have 5 centre backs. So I think four is a solid number.
I mean, in the first team, I'd say there's not a lot outside the Prem that.
There's barely any, Dan. Even Man City only have 4, don't they? They got 2 left footers and 2 right footers.
And Man City also only have 2 strikers. They've got a very strange squad, Man City.
I think that's important, though, what you've just said there, having the right balance in terms of. I remember, was it under Graham Wesley when he was just bringing centre backs in for the sake of bringing centre backs in? Yeah. And it was only when Grayson came in that we actually had a bit of balance.
Alan fucking Browne. Sorry.
Yeah. The way that Neil wants to
front,
play.
Didn't they? So.
Yeah, the way that Neil wants to play, you do need a left footer on the left. Yeah. So if we bring someone in, I think we'll aim for that left footer. Tapazoli's left-footed, obviously, yeah. So I think that's quite likely from what I've heard.
I think that moves us on to the next section, if you will, in terms of areas that we're looking or could potentially be looking at bringing players in.
Yeah.
Obviously, centre backs is going to be one of those areas with Tafazoli. Semi Ajayi has been mentioned as well.
I mean, I've heard a bit about him. I think the thing is with him and with Will Vaux at Rotherham as well, I think bigger teams will be in for him.
Yeah, and that's always going to be the issue.
You mentioned yesterday, Ollie, didn't you, that Vaux might be off to the Prem?
Really?
Yeah. Sheffield United are strongly linked, and then you've got Cardiff, who've just come down. So I think similar case with Ajayi. He's also got a year left on his contract as well, and he's got 10 Nigeria caps, I think, as well. And
what's funny about Ajayi is I mentioned him to you,
Semi?
Didn't I? Well, that's funny as well. But I mentioned him to you, didn't I, Ollie?
Did you?
A few weeks before we were actually linked with him, because I know, what's his name, Brian Silk, the head steward at Deepdale. He's a massive Rotherham fan. Shout out to Brian Silk. He's a fucking lad and he's got a great moustache. But he always comes up and says hello to me when I'm on the Finney.
We don't need to hear your life story, Dan. Come on, then.
No, but I mean, he was championing good old Semi.
Yeah, the thing is,
well, we all love a Semi, don't we?
Yeah, and he said well, soon as we're going down, I'd quite like to see him come here, and I was like, yeah, go on. So I mentioned,
wasn't he the highest scoring centre back in the league as well, or one of
he
the
was.
highest
Scoring?
He does pop up.
I think he scored 8.
Yeah, 8 or 9 goals, with the majority coming from set pieces.
Yeah, that doesn't make you a good defender, though.
Well, obviously
but he's 6'6". He can play right back. He plays centre mid. He's athletic. He's what we've been lacking. But
he played right back against us, didn't he? And he was awful.
I don't really like having a big guy at right back.
No, the way the game's going, I think it's a popular option. The way the game's going, but I think he's out of our price range, to be honest, Jake. So, looking at centre backs,
how much do you reckon they'd want for him?
I'd say over 3 mil.
Bloody hell.
From what I've read, anyway. So they don't want to lose him, and so I just think.
So you reckon Tafazoli would be the more likely of?
I think he's quite likely. I think
the ones.
If I have to bet on a centre back coming in, I'd say Tafazoli.
Yeah, so especially because Big Semi's right-footed as well, isn't
he? Yeah.
Keepers. Obviously, we mentioned Adam Davies from Barnsley in the piece that I wrote, which seems to have wound a few people up online, especially the Declan Rudd fan club. But he seems, for all intents and purposes, to have already, if not very soon, have signed for Stoke.
Yeah.
Then there's obviously the Joe Hart link from sort of last January?
Yeah.
Rings a bell, yeah.
But to be honest, I can't really see that happening.
No, I don't see that happening at all.
Rovers were in for him as well.
Well, it was a whole strange thing, that, wasn't it? Because people seemed to be sure that we were going to get a Burnley keeper on loan, and at first it was Tom Eaton. Then he started playing for them.
Yeah, it was mad, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was always Joe Hart that we were in for.
Yeah.
I can't see him signing. I think it's going to be Muric. I'm pretty.
I don't fancy Hart, to be honest.
No, I don't think anyone does, apart from himself.
If we want a bad keeper who's prone to making mistakes, we might as well just stick Crow in and be done with.
Or stick with Declan Dud.
Or in, yeah.
I think looking at it, I think it's going to be Muric coming in, but it might have to be
a long
into
game.
August. Yeah, into August, which is not ideal.
No, you want them to have the full pre-season, don't you, to get some defence in front of them.
But I mean, I think I'm right in saying that we're all not particularly keen on Declan Rudd being the number one for the whole season.
Absolutely not.
But if Muric was to come in and if it was August, I think having someone like Rudd at the club who could start the season, if he was in the form that he was in.
But then we risk starting the season in a similar way to last year.
Well,
I think the bigger issue,
but under different circumstances.
Well, I think the point I'm trying to make is that if it meant getting Muric in and giving him a couple of weeks to settle in, if he came in late, I don't think having Rudd in net would be.
I think that's. I don't think that's within the question. I think if that was going to be the case, it'd be Ripley playing. It would be Ripley.
Oh, Christ, yeah, completely forgot that.
Because we need to get Rudd out of the club and Maxwell, so we'd not have three keepers on the box.
What sort of wages?
Unless it's a pre-season game, I don't think we're going to see Maxwell in North End colours again.
No, he's not allowed within 50 metres of Darnell Fisher anyway. So, keepers have been Alex Neil's biggest issue as a manager. If you look at it, he had McGovern, he had Ruddy at Norwich, he had Rudd at Norwich, and then he came in here. He signed Michael Croak for some reason that only Alex Neil knows.
He wanted a third choice, really, didn't he? And I assume Crow just made.
I thought he would have signed a real
availability.
I thought he would have signed a real goalkeeper, not just a random lad off the street. And then he's obviously got Declan Rudd, Chris Maxwell, and then he wanted Joe Hart. Now he wants Muric, and then also the Alan Kelly situation. So
yeah,
the whole goalkeeper thing's a bit strange. It needs sorting out. So
is Jack Cudworth still our goalkeeper coach?
Yeah.
I think that's a problem, to be honest.
I don't know enough about it.
Dean Kiley came in and then buggered off after 6 weeks as well, and he's at West Ham or Palace.
Is that Palace? Yeah.
Oh, is it Palace? Yeah. I'm one of those people who, without knowing too much about coaching, from a fan's perspective, it's strange to see a coach who looks about 18 coaching two goalkeepers who are wrong side of 25.
I
just don't know how much they respect his methods, and that's why I don't really like Jack Cudworth in the role.
Yeah, as I say, I don't know enough about the ins and outs of that, but I think if that was the main issue, I think Neil would have looked at a goalkeeper coach this summer, and that doesn't look like it's happening. So I think we'll stick with Cudworth, but actually get a keeper who can command his area. And Muric is 6'6".
Basically cover his area, can't we?
He's just a massive bastard, and that's what we need in net. Someone scary.
Yeah, like Stuckman.
So, yeah, but a better version of Stuckman. And then
I'd have Stuckman back.
I'd have Stuckman back if it meant Declan Dud never played again. So that's obviously a key area. So
yeah, it's massive.
Goalkeeper.
It's one though as well that I suspect through the summer will change. There'll probably be more names coming in and out of the rumour sphere, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I just think Muric is nailed on me. I just think unless something changes, but
we'll be made to wait.
Yeah. Well, that's just me guessing based on Nemecha last season, because Nemecha went on tour with City.
He was a late one, wasn't he?
Scored that goal against Bayern in the pre-season, didn't he?
Yeah. He played
a few days before he signed for us.
Yeah, he played 4 games for them. So, and especially with the internationals as well. So Edison will be away on internationals. So I just think they might keep it around, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah. In terms of midfield, then, couple of names that we've been linked with. Obviously, Luke O'Connell's probably one of the more common ones, but I just can't see that happening, to be honest. Young lad, he's being courted by Premier League clubs. I mean, it's all right from a fan's point of view saying, oh, yeah, well, you want game time at that age and all that sort of stuff. I'd be surprised if it happened. And then the other one is Sam Morsey that's been mentioned as well.
Yeah, that's kind of similar.
Box, doesn't he?
I think that's a similar kind of situation to Semi Ajayi. So I think there probably is interest, but I just think we're going to be priced out.
Yeah. The thing about Luca Connell is the first team football might genuinely be an issue because Norwich was strongly linked with him recently, and apparently they've really cooled their interest because they've just accepted that they won't be able to offer him in the football that he wants.
I think that one's quite likely. I think Connell's quite likely.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
It'll be a local move for him. Possibility of decent first team football.
Yeah,
he knows he's going to get paid.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's all a step up, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. No, Dan, I agree with you there. I think that's quite likely. Connell, got a feeling about that one.
Just make sure he gets a haircut when he comes in, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, it looks a bit like you at the moment.
Heads, can we?
Yeah, but in terms of actual midfielders, we've obviously not been linked with many, but the one that's cropped up in the last couple of days has been Luka Ilic. I'd be surprised if anyone's heard of him. But he's on loan he's at City on loan to Breda in Holland. He's left-footed. He's very technical.
Similar to Bersen Chelina or Selena.
Yeah, and Alex Neil actually wanted him a year ago. But again, we were priced out. He went to Swansea.
Selena, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted Selena, and they are pretty similar. So that could be an option as kind of a number 8 or a number 10, something a bit different at home, especially.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I quite like the look of him. He's got a brother as well, which I found out when I was trying to research him, and I was
he's got a twin brother, yeah.
Yeah, he plays a little bit deeper.
Yeah, they both signed for Man City at the same time for about £5 million. So they were very highly rated a couple of years ago. Serbia, I think is Serbia under 21.
Yeah, they're Serbian.
So he's very technical. Apparently, he takes a good set piece as well.
You could argue though that of all the positions in the squad, midfield's probably the one that we least need at the moment. It's probably
it's the one where we've got the most numbers.
Yeah, we've got quantity. Yeah,
not necessarily quality, especially like you say, Ollie, for teams that come to Deepdale. And
yeah, I think if you look at, I'm not sure. This is just off the top of my head, but when Robinson was missing, I think he missed 9 games at Deepdale when he was injured. I think we only won 2 of them.
Yeah.
We struggle to break teams down at home. Alan Browne's very
tenacious.
Yeah, he's very tenacious and he's good at what he does. But
it's just he's not. I mean, he struggles to create stuff when the team really beds in.
Yeah, precisely that.
And there's only so many screamers he can score.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Josh Harrop,
yeah,
you got Josh Harrop coming back into it as well, and you got.
Do you know what? I just don't think Alex Neil fancies Harrop.
Nah, I can see where you're coming from, but he is an option at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, he is. Definitely is.
He was in the team until he was injured. To be fair, Harrop.
Yeah, he started the season okay for me. No, he was. He started the season okay. Played well at Leeds in the cup. Got a few starts. He actually started on the first day of the season against QPR, and we actually played a 4-1-4-1 with 2 number 10s. So I think we'll see a lot of that next season as well. That was something that was scrapped quite early on because of the poor results. I don't think many people actually noticed it, but we actually used 2 number 10s. So that's something that we might look to do again.
Did Browne play in 10 that game?
Yeah, it was Browne and Harrop number 10s. Robinson one side, Barku's in the other, and I think Louis Malt started up front. So the idea is there that you pin the 2 opposition number 6s, and then you keep width to pin the fullbacks, and you got a lot more space in the middle. It actually worked okay against QPR. So
I think,
but then our only goal was from a set piece. So
yeah, but if you look at the actual chances created and stuff like that. And then we took that to the Swansea. We lost 1-0 again, but chances created were very good. And it actually worked. We dominated possession a lot in the early stages, but we've already been over. Well, I've wrote a piece about why we started badly, but it wasn't down to any single thing. But the formation actually looked quite good. But there's no one else apart from Alan Browne who can really play there. So we definitely need to bring in like a number 10.
Yeah, and this Illich does look like a really good prospect for that position. And I think it would definitely give us something that we've not had for a couple of seasons at least.
Yeah. You'd probably link him to McGeady without wanting to put too much pressure on. Yeah, he's probably that kind of player. Maybe a bit like Bowden, but a bit more
central,
athletic and central. Yeah, get up and down. So then you could, if Illich came in, he could. I'm not sure if he'd play on the right, cutting in on occasions, but I think we definitely want a winger as well.
Well, yeah, I think if, as expected, Robinson leaves, that's a massive, massive hole in the squad.
Yeah,
huge. Was it 1 goal every 157 minutes this season?
It was something like that. Yeah.
Which was...
It's mad for a winger, that's insane.
Yeah, I think, was it the second best behind Vrancic, who went up with Norwich?
Yeah.
I think if you look at the XG and X assists, I think he was 3rd or 4th in the league when he was on the pitch. So for me, he's top 5 players in the league, no doubt for me.
And obviously, if he goes, he's going to be a huge miss and
tough
to replace.
There's still the uncertainty about Barkey as well. We'll come on to the contracts in a bit, but.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Louis Malt before. I think he's one that's, ever since Neil's come in, he's sort of been linked with loan moves or transfers out, or there was interest apparently from Luton in January. There's talk of them potentially reviving that in the summer now that they've had promotion confirmed. And I think with the forwards, I think it's probably going to be a case of 1 in, 1 out.
Yeah. Because, I mean, without Malt in the squad, we do only have Maguire and Stockley.
Yeah, I think people are forgetting as well that Nemec has gone as well.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So maybe we'll bring in a striker and maybe one who can do a job wide and up front. So like Maguire, like Robinson.
Yeah.
Someone like Ashley Hunter from Fleetwood.
Yeah, he's the name that has been mentioned, isn't he?
Yeah, I know Dan's quite underwhelmed that he only scored 9 goals, I think it was, last season, but I think he's one of them.
You did pacify me with. I mean, his goal contributions are more than all right, aren't they? 'Cause what did he get, like 10 assists as well?
10 assists, yeah. So he got 20. He contributed to 20 goals in about 40 games. Playing in quite a poor Fleetwood team.
Yeah.
He's a good age as well. He's quick. He's mobile. So he's one that I'd definitely be interested in. But in terms of actual strikers, I'm not too sure what kind of road we'll go down with that one.
Well, I know you've mentioned someone that could maybe do a job out wide. Obviously, there's been talk of the big man from Bolton, Sammy Amiobi.
Yeah,
I think he's someone that would underwhelm me a little bit without wanting to put a damper on it.
The thing is, he's only ever played for 4 clubs. He's 27. He's not played a great deal of football in his career, really, for his age, when you actually look at it. But out of all the football he's played, he's only ever played 1 season below Championship level.
I think it's what your class has experienced for the level.
Yeah, definitely.
He definitely fits the experience.
I just don't see him coming in and being anything more than a squad player, really. I think even someone like Ginnelly would be above him at the moment.
I'm not sure, especially because, I mean, if the LEP are to be taken at their word, which debatable, what Neil wants is experience.
Yeah, the thing is as well with the Illich kind of links in the last 24 hours.
Would that sort of negate any possible move for an Amiobi or a Hamilton? Would it sort of be either or?
Not a Hamilton, but certainly an Amiobi because they're both left-footed.
Who's Hamilton?
CJ Hamilton.
Oh, CJ Hamilton from
Yeah,
Macclesfield.
good old CJ. Yeah.
From the Stags.
I think that the Illich link, though, to me, would say that we're not interested in Ameoli. But I was told probably going back a month now that he was signing. But that doesn't look.
Yeah, I
like
remember you mentioning it.
I don't think that's going to happen now. But CJ Hamilton's, he's another one. He's left-footed, but he plays on the left, so he's a very different type of player. He's like Barkey, but he's a bit more. He's probably got more about him in terms of actual power than Barkhusen, but he's quite a similar player. So I don't know if that says that Barkey's going to be off, or he just wants another option.
Yeah.
Well, there was
he might want a similar option on the other side.
Yeah, probably does.
Is he left-footed, Hamilton? Or?
Yeah, he's left-footed. Plays on the left, and he's left-footed. Yeah.
I know when Alex Neil signed his new contract, there was talk, wasn't there, that Barkey would be signing sort of imminently, and obviously that's not happened as of yet.
I mean,
offers on the table, isn't it?
Offers on the table. The players have been on holiday, so
true.
Probably see something in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But there's contracts on the table for a lot of players. I think a lot of them had meetings the week that the season ended.
Yeah.
Before they went on a holiday. So if you look at the others, there's probably 6 or 7 going into the last year. And then there's a couple more, obviously, prized assets who probably got 2 years left who we want to tie up. So Storey, Ben Davies, maybe Josh Earl, but that's a bit of a awkward situation.
Wait and see what happens this season, sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, I think
if Josh Earl doesn't break into the team this season, he'll want to leave.
I could see him probably being sold as well, to be honest, whether he wants to leave or not.
I think it's one of them that if we sold him, he'd end up going on to have a really good career. I've just got a feeling.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the possibility of him playing centre-back, haven't you?
I think he's a centre-back, honestly, yeah.
I mean, that maybe he could be the 5th one.
Maybe, yeah.
If he's kept in and around the squad.
Yeah,
I suppose
especially being left-footed, yeah.
It depends if he gets shipped out or not, because I know there's been a lot of talk about him going out on loan, whether...
I think that's come from fans more.
I was just going to say whether that's more fan talk and what they want, as opposed to what the actual club thinks is best for him.
Yeah, I think that's like people talking about Harrop going on loan. I don't think there's much chance of that.
I can't see Harrop going out on loan.
I can't see... I think Earl and Harrop will be in and around the squad.
Yeah.
They're both decent options, really.
So in terms of the players going into the last 12 months, there's obviously Rudd, Gallagher, Robinson, Barkhusen, and Maxwell. Gallagher...
I think that's going to be kind of a wait and see.
I think we might be trying to... I think we might try and keep him on a 1-year rolling from now on.
Yeah, I think
we'll see.
Just see how he goes.
Because his experience around the squad will be invaluable, considering the amount of young players we've got and how long he's been involved with North End, not just...
Well, at the moment, his quality is invaluable to us as well.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm just thinking, as he gets older, and you would expect his capability to play as much as he has done this season gets less.
Yeah.
Him still being in and around the squad will be massive.
Yeah, there was definitely examples second half of last season that his legs were starting to go. The Reading away game just sticks in my mind because I was there, but we were just overrun completely. And I think he ended up being shifted onto the left to kind of stock us up in the midfield, and that happened quite a lot. During that 12-game unbeaten run, it was actually Galley on the left.
Yeah.
And Potts in the middle. So Potts was doing all the donkey work, and Galley was just looking pretty on the left-hand side.
Well, Bolton away was a prime one, wasn't it? With Gallagher on the left.
Yeah. I think there was 4 or 5 games in a row around the Bolton game that he played there, and I think we actually won 4 out of the 5 games. So I think that'll be kind of a wait and see. And then you've got Robbo and Barkey, and there's big question marks about both of their futures. So to be honest, I think people are guessing what's going to happen with those.
Yeah, to be honest, I suspect that's probably one of them that no matter who or how many people come out claiming, "Oh, I've heard this, I've heard that," the only people that probably really know are the players themselves. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, there's two things that are going to happen. We're either going to sell them and get some decent money in, or we get another season out of them.
Yeah, or they could sign new contracts.
Oh yeah, they could sign new deals.
You know, the club's going to have to sell it to them in some way, and that'll be money talks. So that'll be through wages.
Yeah.
And the club will increase the wage bill this year. I'm pretty sure of that. And it's worth remembering as well. I think we've got 5 or 6 players off the books now. So you look at
like Pringle or not O'Connor, Boyle,
Pringle, Spur. I think there was another as well. There was definitely another who's off the books as well.
But yeah, there's a big chunk of money.
Oh, was it Marnik? Did you say Marnik Vermeil?
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah. So there's probably about £20,000 a week in those 4 or 5 players there. So
yeah, if not more potentially.
Yeah, and then so if you look at the keepers situation, Rudd and Maxwell, I'm pretty sure they'll both be leaving. I'm not sure if they'll be loans or permanents.
That's probably another 14, 15 trade up, isn't it? Unless it's loan.
I'm thinking it's going to be more a loan.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see. But generally, if you compare it to other clubs, the squad's in quite a healthy shape in terms of contracts. That's one thing the club is very good at, I think.
The thing about Maxwell is we might be able to find a buyer for Rudd, even if it's a bottom end championship team. But who'd want to buy Maxwell? I mean, I think he made 1 appearance for Charlton.
Yeah, he went there and hardly featured, did he?
It's a weird situation. I don't know, obviously, what's happened there, but I don't know if they get promoted if there's a chance that he goes there. I don't know.
Is that as good a time as any to have a break then, lads?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
Sound. So yeah, we'll be back in part 2. See you in a bit.
Welcome back. We've already spoken about potential transfer targets, and now we're going to actually look at the actual transfer policy of the club. So I'm sure you all read the LEP every day. Well, I read it at 6 a.m. every day because I'm a bit weird. But the LEP have been peddling this phrase of experience for what seems like months. I'm sure it's only been a couple of weeks, but every single day they've highlighted the need for experience. So.
Yeah.
Doesn't
at all smell of something the club have told them to mention, does it?
Yeah, I mean,
just got an image of Peter Ridsdale behind Dave Seddon, sat at his computer whipping him.
Well,
right about experience.
Yeah, I've got a picture with a gun to his head. Because the LEP, let's make no mistake, is the club's mouthpiece.
Yeah, 100%.
So a cynic would say that it's to do with season tickets, and I'd completely agree with them. But it's definitely something that Neil wants, because he said it himself a few times.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about experience, it's not going to be the likes of Charlie Adam.
Yeah, I think this is where a lot of fans are getting it. Sort of.
I mean, we need to make the distinction between age and experience, really.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like we mentioned Sammy Amiobi as unlikely as it is. We're far more likely to be looking at a 27-year-old who's played 5+ years in the Championship than a 37-year-old who's played a couple of seasons in the Prem.
Yeah, I think Amiobi is kind of a prime example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Came in at 26 in January.
Yeah.
Played a few seasons at this level.
Yeah. The one obvious one is Brad Potts. That's exactly the type of experience we'll be going for.
Yeah.
I think he's 24, maybe 25. He's played over 300 games, League 2, League 1, and I think he's got about 60 Championship games under his belt. So that's the type of player we'll be looking for. And if you actually look at Stoke they've actually not signed him yet, but if you look at Lee Gregory, Nick Powell, and the keeper Davies, they're all the kind of ages and experiences I think we'll be looking for.
Yeah.
But it's hard to put your finger on who it's going to be.
I was disappointed when you guys told me that Adam Davies was off to Stoke because I thought he was a good option at
Yeah,
keeper. If we didn't get Muric.
I think he'd have done a job, definitely.
Yeah, I think Stoke are doing business that we probably want to do, but they've obviously
they've obviously got
got
more pull in pretty much every sector, whether it's appeal, reputation, finances.
Well, from a finance point of view, straight away, they're a Premier League club still, aren't they? Essentially.
Well, they're being rewarded £40 million this year for getting relegated, so that's what we're up against.
For finishing below us in the Championship.
Yeah. But that's a different argument. But that could potentially say or tell us why we've not signed anyone yet. I think last season we'd already signed a couple at this stage.
Yeah, there was a few in early doors, wasn't there, last season?
Yeah, so
Graham Burke being one.
Oh God, that was him as well.
I forgot about him. Yeah. The Irish thing has got to stop. For me, it's just the only good one's been Maguire, and he's good.
Well, Browne as well, but
I would have put that.
Browne really came in before the Irish thing started.
Yeah,
wasn't he a Hemmings signing? I'm sure I'd heard that Hemmings recommended him.
I think it was a Hemmings horse racing mate signing, to be honest. I think it was.
Very
what was he?
Yeah,
I don't know what Trevor Hemmings gets up to, but I think he.
Oh God, that's a thought.
Let me just put it's weird that I am a Trevor Hemmings fan. Trust me, I am a Trevor Hemmings fan.
Yeah, it's weird that the scout that found us our best player, arguably our best player, was an old man in a flat cap at Aintree.
Yeah, that's how it works. No, that's not how it works. But
since when?
So the reason that it's probably going to take longer is because if you look at the market, we're probably fishing in a bigger market now.
Yeah.
So
that old cliche of we're a small fish in a bigger pond, aren't we?
Yeah, that's it. So it remains to be seen how competitive we'll be in that market. But Neil must have been given some assurances.
You'd like to think so.
And a couple of people.
If he had, he'd probably be West Brom manager about now.
Yeah, and I mean, a couple of people I've spoken to are very confident about bringing some bigger players in.
Do you reckon we'll break our transfer record?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think we probably will, but I mean, this is going to sound, especially to Ollie, quite hypocritical coming from me. But I think I'm not bothered. I mean, if we get a decent player in, then the actual transfer record itself will be damned. I used to be, but I'm no longer one of those people who buzzes about that.
Understood that. I've never understood it at all, Dan. I think in the past, maybe 4 or 5 windows, the outlay has been 10 million.
Yeah,
so
we've spent big money, but we've spent it wisely and
spread it.
Spread it, yeah. I think people, like you've both said it, I don't really understand those people that sort of cling on to a number as being a judge of whether we've done good business or not. Because
as I said, I was one of those people until 18 months ago.
Well, a prime example is Ben Pringle, isn't he? We signed him when we came up, and apparently we paid like $750,000 for him, and he's arguably one of our worst signings since we've been back at this level.
Yeah. But I mean, what it was for me when I was obsessed with the transfer, not obsessed with the transfer fee, but when I thought it meant something, it was, for me, it was a sign of like progress.
Yeah. So finishing that sort of new signings, transfer policy, whatever you want to call it, section off. I think the key thing is, like we said, that we are now certainly a smaller fish in a bigger pond, and there's more teams in the Championship that have a lot more money than us.
So I'd say past 3 or 4 years we've been competing against kind of the bottom 6 Championship teams and probably the top kind of 6 League One teams.
Yeah.
But now you'd say we're probably competing against 12 plus Championship teams. But I'd say we are an attractive club. Obviously, the manager's the biggest pull that we've got.
Yeah.
Because his record with young players is probably right up there. It's right up there.
Especially now he's had that link with West Brom and he's been talked about with a move to a major club. There's now going to be that extra sort of credibility to him.
And the fact that he's got a 3-year deal as well. I think any players coming in that want to work with a manager like him, the fact that there's a bit of security around the manager, the fact that he's got 2.5 years left to run on his deal is going to be a big thing for any potential someone like Luke O'Connell, for example.
Yeah, obviously I don't know how players decide upon moving to a club, but I think just a squad in general would probably make me want to sign for PNE. Just the characters in the squad.
We don't really have any bad eggs, especially, do we?
We've probably got one of the best squads in the league in terms of character.
Yeah, 100%. In terms of the squad and character, I think you could say that pre-season's the time that character is built amongst players. Do you think this will be... Is it the third season in a row, if we end up going, that we'll be back at Fotter Island?
It'll be the third or fourth.
Yeah. Is it maybe about time to mix things up a bit, do you reckon? Or
I don't... The thing is, I'm not against Fotter Island in any way, shape or form. It's the actual friendlies.
Yeah.
It's the quality of friendlies.
I mean, because a training camp's a training camp, really, when you get down to the grassroots of it, no pun intended. But it's playing teams like Cove Ramblers. I mean, what was the fucking point of that?
Yeah. But do you want to know a little stat about Cove Ramblers?
Yeah, go on.
I know exactly what you're going to say here.
Little nugget.
They've played teams who have been promoted for the past...
two pre-seasons.
The past 3 pre-seasons or 2, they've played teams and they've been promoted 2 seasons later. So we played Cove Ramblers, obviously last pre-season. So we're going to get promoted next season because of that.
So it's our year.
So
Cove Ramblers got promoted last season and they played them the start of the season previous to that, and then it was Fulham the same.
Yeah. So Dan, that was not pointless in any way. That was
a promotion tactic.
It was literally part of the plan.
I mean, Ollie, do you want to just give the club a bell and let them know that they have no choice but to get promotion this season?
Yeah.
I've already told them. I've been on the blower to Peter Ridsdale. Don't worry, Jake.
Well, and Tom Barkhuizen scored a hat trick that game, so that should be a sign that he should sign on as well, surely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But going back to the actual games, obviously we played. Did we play a couple of teams in Ireland, or was it just Cove Ramblers? Can't remember.
Well, we played Cove Ramblers, and we played that behind closed doors game against Fulham, what we got absolutely fucking annihilated.
Yeah, I was just going to say we played Fulham as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Was that was the season before, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was when they were in our league, so it wouldn't have been that season. It was the season before.
If you look at it, we've stopped playing Chorley because they try and kill our players, but we still play Bamber Bridge, and then you've got your usual 3 or 4 non-league / League 2 Northern clubs.
You see, I quite like the Brig game, and I know you'll disagree with me on this, Ollie.
No, I don't. I do like the Brig game. I think that's fine.
Do you? Because, I mean, my reason for liking it is that it basically keeps them going.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's always the first game, and that's just to blow off the cobwebs. Nothing more. That's not in any way a tactical...
what I wouldn't do is, like, last year I think we played, what was it? We played like Morecambe, Filed and somebody else.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
In the space of a week, and like we could probably get away with just playing one of those type of clubs and waiting a couple of weeks until we play somebody bigger and more of a challenge.
Yeah, I think if you look at...
we also play 2 Premier League clubs as well, don't we? So last year it was West Ham and...
No, we only played 1 last year, didn't we?
Yeah, last year was just the 1, but it's usually 2, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was just West Ham, wasn't it?
I think the year before it was Stoke and Newcastle.
Yeah, I think I went to both of them.
We played Burnley last summer as well.
Oh yeah, Burnley.
Oh, of course, yeah. And didn't we play them the season before that as well?
Yeah, played him season before, yeah, as well. Sean Maguire's, that was his first game for us in that
and he scored as well.
And he was shit hot, he was. But if you look at how we've started the last couple of seasons, no one can tell me that's not to do with the pre-season schedule. I know we won the first game against QPR.
Well, the season before that, we started really well.
Did we?
Yeah. We under Alex Neil. Alex Neil's first season.
I thought we were about mid-table, weren't we, after the first few games?
Well, we had a 1-0 home win against Sheff Wednesday, didn't we? But then we sort of stuttered and had to rev up again.
We had a few draws. I think we drew away at Leeds.
Did we?
We did start really well. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting mixed up with Grayson's last season.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, but even so, I think the general point is we need more. We need something fresh. We need something more intense. Yeah. So if you look at Derby, for example, I think they played 3 German clubs last summer in the space of a week. Sheffield United played. I think they played a couple of Italian clubs. I don't just want to play clubs for the sake of it, but playing Halifax and Morecambe, I just don't think it does enough.
No, and Fylde, so you can chuck them in.
Fylde, yeah. Just any of those clubs.
Was it Oldham that we played last pre-season?
Yeah.
You can chuck that in with the Chorley one in terms of teams trying to...
Oh, no. Was that... Oh, that might have been last couple of seasons, because Callum Woods got injured there, didn't he?
Yeah, Sean Maguire came off last season. Darnell Fisher nearly got himself in a boxing match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Darnell Fisher could get in a boxing match with pretty much any player in the Football League.
He could get in a boxing match with himself, I reckon.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think something needs to be freshened up a bit, that's all.
Yeah, well, did you not say that there was talk of maybe playing Mainz? Aren't they on a pre-season tour?
Yeah, I think they're coming. I think they were meant to be coming to England. I don't know if they still are, but you should snap at the chance to play against a club like that.
Yeah, that's a game that would be massive for the preparations for the season.
Yeah, just a genuine quality opponent. Yeah.
I remember one summer when we were in League One, we just randomly played AEK Athens.
Yeah, I remember that.
Jeffrey Monacana did bit.
Scored a wonder goal. We won 1-0. Jeffrey Monacana now turning out for Wealdstone.
But yeah, I think I mean, obviously, I don't know in terms of the actual finer details of a pre-season but I do think that mixing up the friendlies wouldn't go amiss, and maybe adding some Sterner tests in there.
Well, I don't think Sterner tests would hurt us.
No,
definitely. It would with you, Dan. It would with you. Hey, any lossing is a meltdown in pre-season. That's not. Yeah, we should find out within the next week anyway.
Yeah,
they're pretty late getting it out, to be honest.
Yeah, they are. But it's probably because we spent so much time not getting the kit out so late to appease all the fans.
Yeah.
Which I think probably moves us on to.
I was going to say, a nice little transition, that, isn't
it? Should we move on then? Yeah. Any other business?
To the kit.
Yeah, I think the kit. I mean, it is what it is. It's a home kit. It's North End. It's blue. It's white.
It's a kit, really, isn't it? But,
yeah, I don't know. I'm just not. The blue triangles make it look a bit like something that I'd wear at school in a rugby match.
I was going to say it looks a lot more like a rugby league kit than it does a football kit. But I mean, then you can talk about the aesthetics of a football kit all you like, but I mean, it's a kit when it comes down to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we're all in agreement that all the sort of Twitter meltdowns that we see when a kit gets released, massively.
Yeah, like I'd understand if it was absolutely fucking horrific, but
it's not.
It's not. It's just a shirt, really.
Yeah. But on a serious note, though, with the kits, there's a lot of people that are unhappy with the Just Sport deal, and I kind of get it. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I've not really got an issue with Nike. It's just a brand. Personally, I would prefer Adidas, but
well, that's the thing. The Adidas sort of generic, or Adidas, or however you want to say it, their sort of generic football kit for this season that actually looks really smart. Like, have you seen Ipswich's kit for next year?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, I really like it. I'd quite like a sort of reverse version of that, where we have their blue bits white and their white bits blue. If you know what I mean.
Have you seen Bristol City's kits?
I've not. No.
They produce the kits themselves.
Oh, yeah, Gillingham do that as well.
They're really smart, though. Obviously, P&E would never do that, but
we used to, didn't we, with kit?
Yeah, I think the Just Sport thing, and they also, I think they pretty much control the club shop as well. I think that's outsourcing purely for financial reasons.
Yeah, I was going to say, from a club point of view, it ticks boxes because it's one less thing for them to worry about.
It's just guaranteed income. It's like the catering as well.
Yeah,
that's the same. It's just outsourcing, guaranteeing income.
But I mean, maybe we could talk about this, and we could have a whole section on this on another podcast. But the catering is joking.
Yeah. I'm not getting into football finance module, but I'm just going to give Kieran Maguire a shout out anyway. But the thing is, football clubs are monopoly, so they can just treat fans like shit and get away with it. So that's why the catering's shocking, and the club shop's pretty poor, isn't it? So
the Sheffield Wednesday game, that there was an attendance. It was an attendance of 17,000. I went down for a bottle of Coke at half time. By the time I got there, they'd run out for a game that was about 8,000 below capacity.
Same with me. They ran out of water.
The thing is, I love the staff at P&E because I once paid for a pie with a £5 note and I got more than £10 change back.
Yeah, so I've got a similar story.
So I'm fully behind that. But
I've never had that at North End, but I have had it on a bus, which was superb.
Yeah, the kit isn't a big issue. It's the deeper issue really behind it, which is how is the club going to move forward in terms of. I think Bristol City is a really good example. They got the fan zone. They produce their own kits, and just the general engagement's a lot better. But I don't care about the kit because I'm not 10 years old.
Well, yeah, exactly.
As long as there's hoop socks, we can all be fine.
Well, yeah.
I prefer not to be hoop socks.
Well, that's the main thing that I find absolutely mad is the absolute insistence on it. I've no idea where it came from, and I've no idea what
from
the point
League
is.
One, wasn't it? We had hoop socks, and then the season after we went to just white ones with some blue trim on somewhere, and people were like, "Oh, they look shit."
I've never even noticed that we wear hoop socks. I don't notice it when we're playing.
Well, a lot of players wear that much tape, you don't notice them anyway.
Yeah.
So DJ's got his first call up for the Jamaican national side, but to add a bit of context, it is in a pool of 40 players.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Do either of you follow DJ on Instagram?
Yeah,
I'm not.
I thought it was very, very strange that he's been in Jamaica for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He's obviously born in Kingston, so I'm surprised it's taken. How old is he? 25?
24, 25.
20s, yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought there might have been personal reasons why he's not played for them in the past. He's obviously good enough. If you look at their squad,
they're not exactly a strong team. Are they?
Well, two names that stand out: Leon Bailey and Michael Hector. And outside of that, I don't think I could tell you anyone else in the squad.
I went through their squad the other day, and 80% are playing in the Jamaican league. So
yeah,
it's strange timing, but I'm pretty sure he should make that 23-man squad.
You'd like to think so.
Maybe he's holding out for an England call-up.
I don't know, maybe. I honestly don't know, but it's strange to have taken
maybe he wanted to get into the Irish squad with the rest of them, which I think moves us on nicely to the fact that Alan Browne, Callum Robinson,
Luke Connell,
and
Sean Maguire,
North Ender, and Sean Maguire are all away for the next 2 weeks.
Couple of weeks, yeah. Brownie's been in the post today in the LEP. Filling an article saying how he wants to impress because he couldn't really get the chance to impress under O'Neill, mainly because they were treated like animals every day. But I'm probably going to watch.
Like absolute workhorses, weren't they, under O'Neill?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had side games in training and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Who knows about McCarthy, but it's very possible that we could see Robinson on the left, Browne number 10, Maguire up front. Starting for Ireland, so that'd be well worth a watch. I think they're playing Mexico and Denmark in the next couple of weeks.
Couple of games.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well worth a watch. None of the three players have scored for Ireland yet.
No.
Browne has in a friendly against Celtic.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That doesn't really count, does it?
No. So be good if one of them could get off the mark and hopefully no injuries.
But yeah, I think are we done, boys?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, well, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll have another podcast for you very soon. So yeah, thanks again. Don't forget you can keep up to date with everything that's going on with us from the Finney on social media as well. We're on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter So yeah, just give us a shout on there. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
See you later, Dan. See you later, Ollie.
See you guys.
Mate. See you, Jake. See you, Dan.